Hi guys, welcome back to another unboxing video. This time we have some Star Wars Shatterpoint. I have played 2 games at this stage. I've painted up, I believe, 2 units or squads of like 4 characters, and I haven't unboxed any of my own stuff yet. So I bought Shatterpoint the weekend Leviathan dropped. I think that might have dropped a couple of days beforehand. So it's 200 quid for a starter box. You get terrain, you get 2 squads, loads of bits and bobs and tokens and all. I got Padawan Ahsoka Tano with the core set when I bought that, and I picked up a Hello There squad pack for an extra 60. So for the Hello There squad you get General Kenobi, Commander Cody, and 2 clones. I can't remember. It's 212th attack battalion. So you get 4 models in this. You get the cards and stuff for them. With Ahsoka, she's an early release model, so you just literally get Ahsoka, which is cool. And then in the full box, as you can see, the cellophane is still on it. It's a pretty hefty boy. What you're looking at is Bo-Katan Kryze, Ahsoka, Maul, Gar Saxon, 2 units of B1 battle droids, Asajj Ventress, Anakin Skywalker. I think it's a named commander droid. I can't remember which one it is because I've painted one from a different set, and I've played against both at this stage. You get Captain Rex, not Jango Fett. These are actually Clan Kryze Mandalorians, 250 Forced Clone Troopers, and then 2 Death Watch Mandalorians. And then you get a load of terrain. So you get 1 core rulebook, 1 punch board, a struggle tracker, 16 momentum tokens, 1 struggle token. You get 14 dice. I have actually bought a second set, so if I'm doing a demo with someone I can make sure I have enough dice for both of us. 9 struggle cards, 1 mission card, 12 stance cards, 12 unit stat cards, 14 order cards, 5 range tools, 2 movement tools, 23 terrain pieces, and 16 miniatures. It's actually absolutely deadly game. I do really enjoy it. So let's pop this out and have a look. Okay, so in the core set, take the lid off. So there you go. It is empty. Star Wars Shatterpoint. So you actually get some really cool kind of terrain prints, and then so you get art backdrops too, and it actually shows you how to take pictures of your models and stuff. That is actually pretty cool. So yeah, you can actually use this as one of them. You can see the fold line here, and the same there. That's pretty cool. These are all your tokens. So the numbered ones here are like the damage. I'll just tilt this a little bit. There you go. So the numbers here are like the damage. So if you take a 5 damage, 1 damage, you can add it up. These are your objective markers up here. These are your who's controlling the objective marker. So on this side they're blue, the other side they're red. These ones here are your hunker down tokens. So they're basically, if you do a certain action, you might get an additional cover point, and you put this on to mark that. These ones are your force points, so each Jedi person who can use the force gives you X amount of points. And then there's different status effects. So the red blood drop ones are pinned, I believe. No, strength, so you're kind of struggling a bit. If I'm not mistaken, that one is pinned. You can use these when your card or your model loses a certain amount of wounds. So you basically have like 3 lives, and it takes 10 hit points to get to life 1 or something like that. So you mark them with that. And then we have I don't actually know what that one's for offhand. And maybe have to pop one of them out. So yeah, you can see there that the objective control ones are different. We have a disarm. I don't know what that one is. Yeah. So that's the tokens. Next up you have your rulebook. It is a soft copy rulebook. Has some cool art and pictures and stuff in it, and goes through the rules pretty quick. So that's all the stuff that you get in it. So your 16 miniatures. your 12 stat cards are basically the rules for each of your characters. The stance cards is kind of like their weapon profile, so Anakin has 2 of them because he's Anakin. He's kind of a primary, so he'd be more important than the likes of a clone trooper. You have 23 terrain pieces, 2 movement tools, so these ones bend for angles and stuff. You get 5 range tools, 14 order cards, so each one of these basically has each character or model has a relevant card. Your deck is shuffled and upside down. You don't know what you're going to get because it's completely random, and you pull a card out. So I could pull out Maul, or I could pull out the B1 battle droids. It's totally random. And then it has like objectives, and these cards here with the symbols on them, the symbols are referenced to the dice. So depending on which player's turn it is, they might roll the grey dice, and whenever they roll matches up with this here, and it tells you which objective is the primary, which gives you additional points. Then you have your objectives. So if it's orange, it means it's an active objective. If it's dark or black, it means it's not active. There's your force points, who's controlling, so either the light side of the force or the dark side of the force. I'm just going to flip this back around a bit. Then you have your different types of tokens, so that's strained or exposed, disarmed and pinned, hunkered, injured or wounded, priority objective, damage tokens. So momentum tokens are for your struggle tracker. You both start off in the middle with the white or clear one, it sticks in the middle. Depending on the points you score from objectives, or if you wound people, you get to add one of the black momentum tokens, which means it's knocking points off your side. So that's numbered 8 to 0. The more black ones you have here, the easier it is to move the score up to win that battle round. And then obviously it just flips through all of your rules and stuff, but we'll not do that in this video. So then we just have a cardboard insert, and we're into the terrain. So that looks like it's one whole bag for just terrain and bases on plastic sprues, and it's actually a Ziploc bag, which is really cool. I haven't seen something like that before. And another cardboard insert. So I'll just move that out of the way. Then we have more terrain, models, followed by more terrain, and it actually looks like the move tokens and rangefinders are in there. And we've one final piece of cardboard inserts, which leads us to the dice. So the blue dice are your defense dice, which you roll if someone's attacking you. The grey ones are your attack dice, which you roll if you're attacking. Struggle token is the little clear one, and then the black ones are your momentum tokens. Excuse me. They go along this board here, starting with the clear one in the middle. If I score an objective then, or if I wound someone, I get a black token here, which means I only need 7 points to win, whereas my opponent would need 8. Each time you score, you move it 1 towards your side. So if I have 4 points and my opponent scores 1 point, my one goes back to 3. That's basically how it works. Nice and easy. And then the cards have absolutely amazing art on them. So let's have a quick look here. So there you go, there's Ahsoka. You can see she's Jedi no more. So this is kind of when she's gone through it's kind of near the end of the Clone Wars series, if you've watched it, where she's basically no longer kind of a Jedi, but she's still working with the 501st. You got Bo-Katan Kryze, Clan Kryze Mandalorians, General Anakin Skywalker. So, and on the other side they have some pretty cool art. I'll show you that as well when we're here. Sorry. I just love all the artwork in this, obviously because it's Star Wars. There's Bo-Katan. So I have 2 different versions of Ahsoka now, which is A-OK for me. I have ordered the Mace Windu starter set as well, or squad box. CC7567, or Captain Rex as we know. He's pretty cool. 501st Clone Troopers. So Lord Maul. He's a beast in the game, absolute beast. Gar Saxon, Merciless Commander. He's a pretty cool guy as well. I don't like being on the receiving end of either of these guys. the Mandalorian Super Commandos, they're basically got the same rules as the Clan Kreese ones, they're just different colours. You have Asajj Ventress, Sith Assassin, don't like her, she's pretty good in game. Kalani is the super tactical droid, sorry, not super command droid that we get in this box. So, and then you have your B1 battle droids, your Roger Rogers. So that's pretty much a quick overview of what you're getting in the box. Shifting priorities, just some objectives, some missions. These are the cards that you use in the game. So if I'm playing, basically this is how my deck looks. I draw a card, okay, I get to activate the Mandalorians for Bo-Katan, or if I've used them already I get to activate Bo-Katan. That's basically how it works. Pretty simple game, pretty fun, loads of artwork. I love these. And then there you are. See, each player gets one of these, which are basically like a wild card, so you can activate one unit twice essentially. And then there's all the weapons cards there. Cool, so what I might do is just move this out of the way and we'll take a look at some of the sprues. Okay guys, so just having a look here. We have some of the terrain sprues. Your measuring tools come the same as the plastic for the models and the terrain, and what a lot of people do is they actually prime them and paint them. So you'll see someone has this as a black background or something, and then the gun here is actually OSL'd across to make it look like it's actually firing. It just makes it interesting. So you get a couple of them. So these are our angle one. So basically, there you go, that's your movement tool. So this is for the dash, so you put your model's base frame here, and that's a short move basically. And then you have your long move one, which is like so. And then if we're doing a push or anything like that, the direction is from here outwards, so it's still pretty cool. So you have some pretty sick detail on this stuff here. I've seen a lot of interesting ways that people have painted it up, and I'll probably, just because there's so many control panels and stuff, I'll probably just be hitting all these with the airbrush and getting them nice and glowy. You have ladders and stuff. The ladders obviously helping you get to different levels of elevation. I'm not sure now, I didn't really pay that much attention to which parts of the frame were what. I'm just excited to get started and get building it. So you get 5. So this is a dash or short move token. Then you have your long move token or your normal move. Then you have a 5, a 4, a 3 and a 2. And you don't get a 1 because this distance is basically your 1 inch. So now it's not actually, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think it's measured accurately to 5 or 3 or 4 inches, but it's nice and handy to use in the game where you literally just stick that down and go, right, that's how far away, or that's the range of my gun. And that's just for moving and pushing and stuff as well. You can use that to help out. So give you everything in the starter box. So it looks like I've got 2 of these sprues, which is pretty cool. I imagine that these parts will slide in here. I haven't actually looked at the instructions yet, but I will get to that. Okay, so I'll open up the next bag. Okay guys, so this is the second set of sprues. This is the bigger of the bag, so this is basically what your bases look like. Absolutely mad. I've never seen anything like this for basing in all the time I'm wargaming. So you can see like kind of blaster marks on them or lightsaber marks. So in a few of them, what I might actually do is kind of paint the inside of it black and then put like a really stark bright red around it as if it's been burnt, or blue depending on what the lightsaber is. And they all have the same size bases, which is pretty good. Okay, I take that back. The bigger bases here are for the battle droids because there's 3 per base, basically. So that's the bases, just pretty cool. Never seen anything like that before. Move them out of the way. Okay, so some kind of, I don't even know what that is. Some kind of broken air vent or container. Sorry, yeah, this little guy here, he actually, you glue his head on, he's like a squirrel or something, he sits in there. I've seen that on the terrain. I presume this is just all edge pieces for the gantries and the panels and stuff. Leave that aside. Again, pretty simple, pretty futuristic looking Star Wars terrain. I presume this bit here is a doorway, but I'm not sure what clips on here. More ladders, and these are kind of like storage or shipping containers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I don't actually know. I presume it's only two pieces to build one, so there's 2, 4, 6, 8 containers, and a couple of ladders which you can lean into different gantries and stuff to get different elevation heights. We had a sprue similar to this already. Okay, pretty cool. Again, deadly spots for OSL to be used. And more panels. If I'm not mistaken, this is some kind of radar dish or something that you basically, it looks like it's actually angled as a radar dish. More ladders. I presume these are support beams for different panels. And then these are either walkways or canopies, possibly both, but very nice pieces of kit. Pretty straightforward on the back then. And again, I imagine these ones are walkways, so it looks like they have a lip or something here on the inside. I imagine that's for clipping it in and out stuff. I'm not 100% sure on how modular this is yet, because obviously I haven't built it. So I'm going to open the last bag, which has a little bit of terrain and then the models. Final sprue then. So these are probably the biggest parts of terrain that are in it. I think this is just the back side because it's all pretty plain. And you have cables running, different kind of panels and stuff, pipes. And this kind of vent material that they have in there, great for dry brushing. Obviously bigger vents and more kind of DJ panels. So that's one of the sprues. The next one then, I presume, makes up some sort of I don't know, this looks like a circular piece that probably sticks onto these two edges here, so it might be some kind of container or tanker kind of building. Straightforward on the back again. So that's all of the terrain, and then what we have is 2 sprues of models. So that's okay. Starting from here, I can see some B1 parts. So you've got heads, backpacks, arms and hands. That is the torsos. I have not heard good things about putting these guys together, and I can understand why based on what looks like the smallest contact points I've ever seen. It's very similar to Malifaux models. So that's obviously 2 B1s. There's 3 of them per base. Okay, this looks like, so that's Ahsoka's torso, the front part of her head, and then the back part of her head. These 2 bits here are obviously her lightsabers, her legs, and her waist area, her hips. Clone Trooper looks pretty straightforward, thankfully. Little piece on the back for his I don't know, back to tank or water tank. He's got his blaster, his helmet, and then his torso and arm, so that's not too bad. Same again here by the looks of it. A little bit more to add to him. The guns and the arms. Well, there's 2 arms and a gun piece that clips onto them rather than just 2 arms with the gun. This guy here, I imagine, is a Mandalorian because of the little Mandalorian blaster. You can see kind of the Beskar armour there. Oh yeah, there you go. So there's the front part of the Mandalorian helmet for one of Bo-Katan's guys. I imagine it's one of Bo-Katan's guys. There's the back part. You've got the jetpack. This is most likely Gar Saxon, considering he has a sniper rifle, anti-material rifle, whatever it's called. That could be his wrist-mounted weapon. That's his backpack there with the jet streams coming out, and then his actual torso. And then there's an amalgamation of parts here, so I'm not sure if this is a mix of the Super Commandos and Gar Saxon. I know that's a Mandalorian energy shield. We've got 2 pistols and holsters. That's probably Gar Saxon's helmet because it has the spikes on it. Moving over here, it looks like we're on to Kalani with the Super Battle Droid. I say Super Battle Droid, it's a Tactical Command Droid or something. I read the cards a few minutes ago. So yeah, I've painted a droid similar to this. Again, super small contact points. And then we're into, I don't know if it's all of Bo-Katan's Mandalorians or if it's one Mandalorian. It looks like there's 2 jetpacks there, and one of them has smoke coming out of it. I think that one is Bo-Katan. It's hard to tell with the helmets. Doesn't look like it's Bo-Katan on that one. So that's sprue number 1. Remember, there's 16 models in this and they fit it into 2 sprues, and the bits are tiny. Okay, so that last one definitely wasn't Bo-Katan. So what we have is an amalgamation of droid parts between this section, which makes up the rest of the B1s. Moving over to this side, then we have Bo-Katan. So you get an option with some of the Mandalorians where you have her helmeted version or her unhelmeted version, which is cool. I hate painting faces, so I'm definitely avoiding that. There's only one person that this could possibly be, which is Maul. So you've got his robotic legs up here, dual lightsaber, his cloak, spiky head, and then you obviously have to glue the back onto the spiky head because why would they make it easy? The models are super detailed and they go together really well, but I'm fearful for putting together such small parts. And what looks like more Mandalorians here. So these could be Bo-Katan's Mandalorians, and the other ones were the Super Commandos. So you got a jetpack again, you got your legs, torso, helmet, front and back up here. Anakin is here, pretty straightforward. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces on a base, and then we have more Mandalorian parts here. Okay, so I'd imagine this is one, that's Rex, that's not a Mandalorian, that's what that is. So again, unhelmeted head or helmeted head, and the only reason I know it's Rex is that's a shoulder pad, and he's got different blaster pistols, which means the last model is here with Asajj Ventress. Lovely big billowing cloak, I can't wait to paint that. So I'll throw it all back together and show you how much sprues we're looking at. Okay, so this is what you're looking at for plastic sprues for your models. That's 16 models, not including the bases. And do you know something, I'm just going to tilt the camera for this piece. There's all the terrain. So I have a lot of work ahead of me. I'm going to be building these on my lunch break in work. So I'm going to push all this aside then, and we'll have a look at some of the other bits. This is probably the last bit that I'm going to open here because I don't want the video to be too long, and I will do the Obi-Wan Hello There Squad box in another video. Okay. So this is an early release Padawan Ahsoka. So we go. Just a piece of cardboard. We get some cards. Let's see what we get. Oh man, hard to get that out. Okay, so I'm not actually okay, so okay, so you just get all the different languages of it. Okay, that makes more sense. So Padawan Ahsoka Tano, you have Racia, which is an action she has to do at the start of a turn. So at the start of this unit's activation, choose an Allied Galactic Republic primary unit or an Allied Jedi primary unit. One character in the unit may dash. Now that's a full move, that's actually pretty good. She is fearless, costs 1 force point. Each character in this unit may dash or jump. This unit may use this ability 2 times during its activation instead of normal 1. That's really good. Deflect, I seem to see this on a lot of the Jedi stuff. So basically after shooting attack targeting a character in this unit is resolved, it may use this ability if the attack roll contained 1 or more fails. Basically the attacking unit suffers 2 damage. So you basically use your lightsaber and block it and shoot it back at them. And then getting ahead of yourself again snips, something Anakin says to her all the time in the series. After an Allied Galactic Republic supporting unit within 3 makes a combat action, this unit may use this ability. One character in this unit may jump, then make a 5 dice lightsaber attack targeting one of the same. That's actually pretty good. The only downfall of taking her as a secondary unit is she doesn't give you any force points. She costs 4. It's interesting, so you're only kind of going off. So if you take Anakin, you'd only be taking the 7 with him. And I could probably take. I'll not talk lists at the minute because I'm just rambling then. And then I actually thought I just got loads of prints of this for the crack, but it's obviously one for each language. So that's a card, pretty cool. And then her damage tracks. So if she has a ranged attack, no, she's got 5 dice defense against ranged, or she's got 7 dice attack with lightsabers, or 5 defense. So her damage track is actually pretty good as well. A push and a damage, a jump and a damage. It's not disarm, it's something else. Can't remember what that one's called. And a pin. So this one down here is probably the best one to start off with. So you heal 1 and do a damage. I think that's a reposition, and 2 damage up to 3. A strain. Then you can go for 2 heals, or you can go for, so you can go 1, 3, 5, 7 damage, and she's doing a lot of stuff there. So that's her cards, but who cares about the cards? Let's look at the good stuff. So I'll do something else in here. Read this first. Basically QR code to download your instructions, which is pretty cool. And then we have the model, so similar enough to the rest of them. It comes with its base on a sprue in a little baggie, so that's your base there. And then a little bit simpler looking model than the other version of Ahsoka. So you got 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 torso, 2 head. Should be pretty straightforward to put together. Okay, so that's it for the unboxing video. That's everything I got with the starter set, or the core set for I was going to say Marvel Shatterpoint. It's Star Wars Shatterpoint. I have my 3rd game on Thursday. Today is Tuesday, so stay tuned for an update on that and the build process, because I have a lot of stuff to get building. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more videos.